After not attempting a Pokemon Nuzlocke for over 10 years, I have now completed 3 of them. My mother is very proud. I've slowly increased the difficulty with each consecutive run to ease myself into tougher challenges, and now I think I'm finally ready to attempt a hardcore Nuzlocke. In a regular Nuzlocke challenge, if a Pokemon faints, they are dead forever, and I can only catch the first Pokemon I encounter in each area. In a hardcore Nuzlocke, however, there are additional rules, some of which I've implemented in my past runs. However, in this run, I'll be adding level caps for the first time. My Pokemon will be forbidden from exceeding the level of the next gym leader's strongest Pokemon. For example, I'm playing Pokemon Platinum, so until I beat Rourke, I can't level any of my Pokemon past his level 14 Cranidos, including my starter. I love Turtwig more than myself, and Chimchar can eventually become a one-mon army, but for this run, I'm gonna go with the Sinnoh starter I often neglect. Welcome to the team, Piplup. For your first challenge, you will have to break through our rival's withdraw spamming Turtwig. A frustrating endeavor to be sure, but something I've learned through my previous Nuzlockes is to exercise patience. The journey is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Sure enough, Piplup finally breaks through the turtle's defenses and earns the right to be nicknamed. A rash-natured little dork like you should be called Paimon. Now let's get you some friends. On Route 201, we snag Byleth the serious Starly, and on Route 202, we add Samagina the mild-mannered Bidoof to our ever-growing squad. I gotta say though, we're getting some pretty lucky critical hits against these early game trainers. On Route 203, we take on our rival again, but it's a wash. Starly screams at Paimon instead of putting up an actual fight, and Byleth flips over Turtwig for a stress-free victory. Also on Route 203, we encounter a Shinx. Unfortunately, one hit isn't enough to bring it into the yellow, so I'm gonna try one more attack here. Phew, that was a close one, but we managed to catch Shinx and... what was that? Whatever. Welcome to the team, Sir Bear. I'm sure you'll put in a lot of work with your bold nature and rivalry ability. We also add Zagan the naughty Zubat in Oreburgh Gate, and Stolos the timid Geodude in the mines. Our team has begun to take shape, but the star of the show right now is Paimon, because our strategy for beating Rourke is to have him use Bubble, and that's it, that's the whole strategy. It works pretty well at the beginning of the fight, as Paimon drowns Geodude with a barrage of suds, but Onix manages to survive a bubble with a sliver of HP, then sets up Stealth Rocks. Rourke sprays his Stony Snake with a potion the following turn, but it actually doesn't heal Onix to full, meaning another bubble from Paimon finishes the job. And in comes Cranidos, who outspeeds Paimon and nails him in the face with a vicious headbutt. Fortunately, Paimon doesn't flinch and retaliates with Bubble, but can't even bring Cranidos' HP below half. Well, we're in quite a pickle now. Barring a critical hit, 2 more headbutts will finish off our penguin pal, and we might not have the damage to knock out Cranidos before that happens. With Stealth Rocks up, switching right now wouldn't be wise either, since whoever we bring in will just get nailed in the face. Our best bet is to let Paimon stay in and see what sort of devil magic he can conjure up. Cranidos headbutts Paimon again, bringing him to his knees, but no flinch means... Paimon can high roll on his bubble damage and finish out Cranidos to secure us the first gym badge. We got a lucky break there, but I'm not complaining. Hopefully such serendipity will follow us for the rest of the run.
That's enough. I am the devil, and I have been watching you since the beginning.
Oh wow, the devil watches my videos?
You say you're trying to improve as a Nuzlocker, yet you've taken too many unnecessary risks and relied on too many lucky breaks to be making such a claim.
I'm still trying my best, and what's life without a little bit of risk?
Listen here, Toad Boy. I don't think you have what it takes to complete this hardcore Nuzlocke. In fact, let's up the ante. I'm adding some new rules of my design to your pitiful little Nuzlocke. And if you fail this run, I'm taking your soul and sending you straight to hell. And don't think you can resist my influence. As you can see from my card, I am the real deal. And every one of your beloved party members, they are actually demons who serve me.
Why didn't Samagina change form?
She's already perfect. Now then, with my woeful minions at your disposal, let's continue this farce. Any last burning questions from you before I take a front row seat to your futile efforts, Toad Boy?
Your first name is the? Well, I guess I have the devil on my shoulder now, but even with the new rules, that's not gonna stop me from seeing this challenge through.
You've got an awful lot of confidence there, Toad Boy.
Well, I've got countless playthroughs of Pokemon Platinum under my belt, dating back to childhood, so I remember a lot of random details about this game off the top of my head. For example, in this giant coal pile north of Oreburgh Mine, there's a hidden pearl here on the left, and a hidden heart scale near the center of the pile. Neat, huh?
No, that's weird. Why do you remember that?
After handling some spacemen, we're able to snag a couple more encounters to fill up our ever-growing bench. Wait, are these guys your minions too?
Yes, and every future encounter you find will be a demonic deadbeat as well.
Good to know. More importantly, Paimon evolves into Prinplup and Byleth evolves into Staravia just in time for our fight against Team Galactic Commander Mars. Her Zubat begins the battle by biting a rock, which you should never do. Stolos the Geodude fires off a retaliatory rock throw that barely misses out on the kill. On the next turn, Stolos eats another hit, then misses rock throw.
Ha, as to be expected from a useless lackey.
Hey, it's not over yet. I still believe in Stolos. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Stolos' held Quick Claw triggers, allowing him to get the jump on Zubat and smother it under a pile of rocks. That invites in Mars' big bad Perugly. Stolos eats a fake out, causing him to flinch, then tanks Feint Attack the following turn before he can finally connect with Rock Smash for some chip damage, and a lucky defense drop. With his work done, Stolos tags out for Byleth the Staravia, whose Intimidate ability lessens the damage of the incoming attack. Wing Attack brings the fat cat low enough to trigger its held Oranberry, and with one last decisive slap of her wing, Byleth takes down Perugly and secures us the win over Mars. Good job, Stolos and Byleth. You two put in the work.
Not bad, Toad Boy. You've been using my pathetic minions better than I anticipated.
Well, I don't just see them as minions, they're companions on our journey and should be acknowledged as such.
Yeah, sure thing, Mr. Sentimental. How about acknowledging the shellos you just found on Route 205? You don't want to waste an encounter, do you? Wait, why are you attacking it? No, you're going to one-shot the shello, stop!
Quit worrying so much, we ended up catching it, see?
It is this exact mentality of yours that pissed me off in the first place!
We breeze past Eterna Forest and arrive in Eterna City. Zagan the Zubat becomes Zagan the Golbat, and his type combination and access to Wing Attack allow him to completely trivialize Gardenia's entire team. For us, it's an easy gym badge earned, but for Zagan, it's just another day on the job. And we've got some more business to deal with atop the Galactic Eterna building, specifically Commander Jupiter. Zagan begins his negotiations by slapping aside Jupiter's Zubat and trying to explain trickle-down economics to Skuntank, causing the skunk to become confused and smack itself. Byleth takes over on the following turn, and her Intimidate softens the incoming Night Slash considerably. But it's not Byleth who will seal the deal, it's Stolos, who dodges the Night Slash crit, then actually avoids Screech before letting loose a super effective Magnitude. Our groundbreaking Geode rips apart Skuntank the following turn, earning us a much easier victory than initially anticipated. You see that, Devil? Stolos is eating these galactic commanders for breakfast. Do you still think my team is useless? Oh, sorry, the Devil?
It seems formality isn't lost upon you, though ruination is still in your destiny. Now go do that silly thing where you ask the audience to like the video and subscribe.
I normally prepare something in the script for that, but I've been kind of preoccupied being under your duress.
I don't know, just wing it. As long as you relate it to your current situation and include some urgency, it'll probably hit.
Current situation, urgency, okay, got it. If you guys don't subscribe, I'm literally going to hell! My inevitable demise is gonna have to wait though, because we got some new encounters on the way, including a couple of guys I don't give a toss about, and Balan, the naughty Gligar. I freaking love Gliscor, so I'm looking forward to getting to use one this run.
If your pathetic little scorpion even lives that long.
Well, I think Balan will be the MVP of this run. Anyway, we're not done yet. We also have a Wayward Cave encounter to get. Now we could head into the right entrance and rescue a lost child stranded in the deep, dark depths of a dangerous cavern, or we could take the left entrance and get a Gibble.
Not so fast, Toad Boy.
What, you want to save the child?
Oh, no. I simply believe letting Garchomp click Earthquake all run is a recipe for a boring video. Therefore, I will be adding a new amendment to our ever-expanding rule set. A ban list. No more Garchomp, Blissey, or Gyarados. I get how you trivializing this challenge with Platinum's best encounters.
If you insist, Devilman. My Wayward Cave encounter ends up being an Onyx anyway, so the Earthquake TM will go to Balon instead. After listening to Cyrus yap about society, we emerge from the east side of Mount Coronet and snag ourselves a jolly-natured Ralts, a perfect candidate for evolving into Gallade, except for the fact that she is, unfortunately, female.
Bold of you to say that in Big 2025.
Hey, I'll have you know that I'm an equal opportunist. Male, female, non-binary, I'll park anyone on the bench if they're trash enough. Solos evolves into Graveler, and Cerber evolves into Luxio as we enter Hearthome City, where we also receive a gift Eevee. Nafalo will be sent to the bench for now, but he'll be back later to plug in any holes in our team with one of his evolutions. For now, our current squad should be enough to handle the third gym leader, Fantina.
Are you sure about that? This is a pretty infamous gym for Platinum Nuzlockes. You're not exactly packing the strongest spectral answers either.
We'll be fine. Zagan and Cerber both know Bite, so they can handle the ghost types. See, Cerber got the jump on Fantina's lead Duskull, landing a Bite that misses out on the one-shot. Thank you, Cerber, for having a minus attack nature. She does manage to score the KO eventually, which lets Fantina's very scary, very dangerous Mismagius appear. Shadow Ball damn near ends Cerber's life, and while Bite does knock Mismagius below half, it heals up with its held Citrus Berry, and Cerber ain't outrunning the ghost next turn. Time to switch. I bring in Paimon, who shrugs off a soft Psybeam. I know Flutter No main here is gonna go for Magical Leaf next, which means we can switch to Zagan, who quad resists the attack. Then Zagan and Mismagius strike a deal. If I get confused by Confuse Ray, then you will too, Zagan says. Mismagius agrees, meaning we can switch back to Paimon and cross our fingers that the hatted ghost hits itself in confusion. Which it does not, instead firing off a Psybeam that puts Paimon in a precarious position. We switch to Zagan again, but Mismagius breaks through confusion yet again to launch a brutally powerful Shadow Ball that puts Zagan on the back foot. At this point, it's just about putting up enough damage to ensure someone can take down this atomic level threat. It might be you, Zagan, it might not. Don't think too hard about the implications of that though. Just do your best, buddy. It turns out that the deal Zagan and Mismagius signed earlier had some fine print. Mismagius must throw the fight by hitting itself in confusion and putting it in range for Zagan to bite its head off. That just leaves Fantina's Haunter. Zagan prepares to launch one final bite to seal the deal, but Haunter anticipates the attack and throws out a Sucker Punch. That nearly kills Zagan with a crit. Even worse, Bite doesn't one-shot Haunter. Fantina burns a super potion, allowing Zagan to get off another bite for free and bring Haunter back into the red. With his work complete, Zagan clocks out and lets Byleth finish the job. She ignores Shadow Claw and annihilates what remains of Haunter to earn us Gym Badge number 3. Our squad's got some maulers. Nothing can stand in their way, especially not our rival. Uh-oh.
Did you seriously forget about the double team spamming Staravia?
I forgot about the double team spamming Staravia.
I knew your hubris would usher in your downfall eventually. Look, the birds managed to get the +5 evasion without taking any damage. There's no way you can land a hit on Staravia now. Okay, you got a bit lucky, but there's no way your Graveler will get the 4 hits of Rock Blast necessary for the KO. I hate you so much!
Stolos bails me out big time, and we're able to clean up the rest of our rivals' team with relative ease. Our boulder-shaped buddy's been putting in the work, hasn't he?
Not for long, Toad Boy.
What do you mean? I might have let him tank a Weasel Aqua Jet in a random trainer battle, but he survived the hit easy peasy.
What did I say? Complacency invites death.
We pay our respects to our fallen friend in the Lost Tower, then catch Belial the quirky Ghastly, who could immediately evolve into Haunter. We also grab some other encounters nearby, including a modest Meryl with thick fat. This is the second run now that I've gotten a useless Meryl.
Look at you using my vocabulary. What happened to every team member being your friend for life?
I do try to see the good in every Pokemon I catch, but to be honest, there are just way too many encounters this run. I'd be adding a lot of unnecessary unnecessary information to the video if I included every Pokemon I caught, since most of them are bench warmers for life. Like, do you seriously think that Alucard, the bashful Ponyta I caught on Route 210 is gonna put in any work this run?
Fair point, but a fire type might come in handy against the 4th gym leader's ace.
Nah, I got something better up my sleeve. Zagan the Golbat has evolved into Crobat.
So he will be the key to defeating the fighting type gym leader.
Nope, but my other flying types will. Violet the Staravia begins the battle by dunking on Maylene's Meta-type with Aerial Ace. Due to the level cap, she can't evolve into Staraptor just yet, which would have been really nice against Machoke because it survives an Aerial Ace, then fires off a Rock Tomb that nearly kills Byleth. Fortunately, Byleth can score the KO the next turn, then tag out for Balon once Lucario takes the field. Balon has to eat a Force Palm on the switch in and gets paralyzed. Great. Lucario outspeeds and connects with Metal Claw but does not get the attack boost, any significant damage, or any sort of gratification as Balon quakes the earth and ends the battle in an instant. Gym batch number 4 is ours. We've been sprinting from gym to gym with little opportunity for rest, so how about we take a short detour to the game corner?
Oh ho, finally doing a little bit of sinning, Toad Boy. You should know that gambling is a fruitless mortal endeavor.
Not in Pokemon Platinum it isn't. It's actually pretty easy to win consistently once you understand how the slots work in this game.
Why do you know such a thing?
When I was a kid, I couldn't get the max coin cheat to work, so I just learned DPP game corner mechanics and farmed coins legitimately to buy the TMs I wanted. The method to earn coins is actually pretty simple. You first need to wait for a Pokeball to show up on the bottom screen because the slots are rigged and you literally can't win otherwise. What you win is determined by the type of Pokeball that appears, but what really matters is when Clefairy pops out of the ball. Once you match 3 7s in a row with Clefairy on screen, you'll have the opportunity to begin a bonus round. Just stop each reel based on where Clefairy is pointing, and you'll always win 15 coins. If you follow Clefairy's directions perfectly, you can win 210 coins per bonus round. Sometimes bonus rounds chain together to let you earn even more coins.
Alright, thanks for sharing, Toad Boy. Let's continue the journey, shall we?
But I still need 9,000 more coins to afford Ice Beam. Before we leave Veilstone City, I stop by this random guy's house and receive a free docile-natured Porygon who I dub Astaroth and can immediately evolve into Porygon 2 using the upgrade we obtained in Eterna City. The road to Pastoria City is littered with discoveries. There's a hidden Razor Claw here on Route 214 which we can use to evolve Balon into Gliscor at nighttime. We also pass by the Valor Lakefront, which I've always had a soft spot for. The music is nice and serene, and it's cool to see a giant sprawling resort in a Pokemon game. I think Alola also had one, but I don't remember exactly. I've never actually finished a Gen 7 Pokemon game. The plethora of trainers we fought between Veilstone and Pastoria has given us enough XP to evolve both Paimon and Byleth into their final evolutions. A huge jolt in power for our squad of—
Hold your horses, Toad Boy.
My horse is in the PC.
I can't have your team becoming this capable. Perhaps I should stunt any future additions by removing the species clause. What do you think about that?
Oh, no more species clause? That means I can head west of Pastoria to Route 212, where our encounter turns out to be a female Curlier that I'm now allowed to catch. And it has the speed boosting nature and hasty. Obtaining Bunei and evolving her into Gardevoir would have been possible without your intervention, the devil. Thanks a bunch. After bulldozing past our rival again, we can head inside the Pastoria gym.
Wait, I'm adding another rule.
Oh my god, you're like a little kid losing a playground spat.
Shut your mouth, stinky head. Starting with your upcoming gym battle, you must match the number of Pokemon carried by the gym leader. For example, the guy in the mask only has 3 Pokemon, so when you take him on, you'll only be allowed to use 3 Pokemon as well.
Ooh, that's an interesting wrinkle to consider. Okay, I'll bite. I've got a team in mind. We can't not use Bunei to Gardevoir after just obtaining her, plus Magical Leaf can check Quagsire, and I don't want to train up Badoo. As for Crash Awake's Gyarados and Floatzel, we need a speedy electric type to answer them. We don't have one right now, but we can pluck Nafla off the bench and finally evolve him into Jolteon to fill that role. His only available electric move at the moment is Shockwave via TM, but that should be enough to deep fry the fishies. As for our final team member, I'm going with Byleth the Staraptor because her typing and Intimidate carry a lot of value in this fight. We just gotta make sure she doesn't end up on the wrong side of an Ice Fang. Our team of 3 is raring to go as we crash Wake's gym. Nafula immediately one-taps Gyarados with Shockwave, letting Quagsire hit the field. Expecting a Mud Shot, I switch into Byleth, and my prediction turns out to be correct. I then switch again, this time into Bene. Though I expected to take some damage on the switch in, Quagsire's Rock Tomb ends up missing, allowing Bene to get off a free Magical Leaf the following turn that makes the Mudfish into mincemeat. That just leaves Floatzel as the last mon standing. Byleth returns just to intimidate, and after shrugging off a hit, tags out for Nafula. Floatzel goes for Brine and eats a third of our health, but nothing more. With one final shockwave, Nafula drowns the Sea Weasel and secures us the 5th gym badge. I gotta say, restricting my team like this is actually pretty fun. It's also making me appreciate these goofballs I'm using a little bit more. Thanks for the suggestion, the devil. Got any more rules you want to add?
Nope, I give up. It's like the Fates themselves are conspiring with you and against me. You infuriate me to no end, you know that?
I like playing Pokemon. I always found it weird how Cynthia gives you medicine to go cure the Psyduck blocking the road, then immediately appears to check on you and bestow upon you something to give to her grandmother, then follows you all the way to Celestic Town to ensure that you gave her grandmother the thing that she gave you. Like, couldn't you have just done all of this yourself? Whatever, I shake off Cyrus like a lint in my pocket and graciously receive the Surf HM. I love this portion of Sinnoh because so many new areas open up as a result of being able to surf. For example, Fuego Ironworks, a perfect place to add a second steel type to our team, if I didn't accidentally knock out the Magnemite I found.
About damn time you missed an encounter. Though I'll admit, you've made it farther than I initially expected. Maybe your mortal self is capable of defying your fate after all.
Oh, by the way, there's a hidden star piece in this random barrel.
I take it back, your knowledge of pointless details is frankly disturbing.
We finally make our way to Canalave City. We have another rival battle here, but honestly, this guy is never a real threat. The same can be said for Byron, who I expect to go down like an imploded building.
Yeah, you know so much about a 16-year-old Pokemon game. Go touch grass or something.
You know what? F you. I've had enough of your whining, Devilman crybaby. You want me to touch grass? Fine, I will.
No did he actually leave? Oh ho, he did!
Why wouldn't I? It's a beautiful day outside. Plus, the Byron fight is so easy that my team can handle it without me.
Feeling quite daring, aren't we, Toad Boy? I won't grill you for that this time. I'm more interested in the scenery.
What, you don't have dirt paths where you're from?
Nope, just lava. And magma. Also a little bit of rocks. Hey, your beloved Balon just got hit by Ice Fang.
He'll be fine, he's coming off a Steelix. Look, he secured the KO the following turn. Also, check out this stick fort someone built.
It would seem that the mortal world has some decent views after all.
Well, I hope you enjoyed my outdoors arc, because it looks like my team's already bodied Byron. I gotta head back. I'm back. While I was gone, it seems our team has not only earned the 6th gym badge, but also smacked around Saturn at Lake Valor and Mars at Lake Verity. Before we trek to the winter wonderland that is northern Sinnoh, however, we need to make a detour to Iron Island. Helping out Riley nets us an egg, which I promptly hatch into Person the Riolu. He'll become a mainstay should he survive long enough to evolve. This does mean that Zagan the Crobat will have to be moved to the bench, however. Now he's got all the time in the world to work on his fledgling business. Speaking of team members that fell off, Belial the Haunter has been a spectator most of this run, but I think it's finally time I level her up and evolve her into Gengar.
You lost your Haunter to an optional trainer fight?
Yep.
Against a Kadabra 3 levels under you?
Yep.
When you could have evolved your Haunter into Gengar earlier and had enough speed to win the speed check?
Yep.
Huh, I laugh at you, Toad Boy, and I spit at you. Ow. Okay, yeah, I deserve that. I've been kind of an ass.
Ah, Yukira! Person evolves into Lucario as we brave the snow. We also pick up a bunch of frosty encounters, including Tap the Careful Snover on Route 216, Citry the Lax Swinub on Route 217, and Ball, the brave Sneasel at Acuity Lakefront. We're definitely gonna need an ice type for the late game, so check back later once these three have finished fighting to the death for the right to take on Cynthia's Garchomp. For now, we need to take on Candace's gym. As you can see from our current team composition, we have a shaky matchup against ice types, but ultimately I landed on this squad of ice smashers. With Paimon, Astaroth, and Person by our side, we can—
What about the fourth guy?
The what?
The horse.
So, due to how our encounters turned out, Alucard the Ponyta turned Rapidash is our only fire-type Pokemon available right now. His entire job this fight will be to one-shot Abomasnow, then try to bribe Frostlass into not using Double Team. Yeah, this battle could get real ugly if the cards don't fall our way. Fortunately, Paimon starts things off on the right foot, shrugging off a feint attack and obliterating Sneasel with Flash Cannon. Candace sends out Pile of Swine, but Paimon again shows why he's king by washing away the swine. Abomasnow roars into battle next with a howling hailstorm behind it. We switch to Alucard on a focus blast that doesn't even do half after hail damage. Enjoy this flame wheel, bozo. That just leaves Candace's Frostlass, who is a one-mon army itself. This is proven immediately as it goes for double team, then dodges Alucard's fire spin. I bring in Astaroth to see what he can do about this increasingly dire situation, and he manages to hit the field scot-free because Frostlass used an ineffective Shadow Ball. Frostlass might go for another double team, but I'm willing to bet it's itching to pull the trigger on Blizzard instead. Taking the hit isn't fantastic, but what other options do we have? Alucard is too low to switch back in, and person? Look at his current moveset. The man's got no way to deal any damage to Frostlass. I could switch to Paimon, but I think I'll save that option for later and let Astaroth stay out for now.
Because you believe?
Yes, I believe. When I put my faith in my Pokemon, they always deliver. It's up to you to prove me right or wrong, Astaroth. That's what I'm talking about. Frostlass is now paralyzed and low enough for a Paimon Flash Cannon to secure the KO if it hits. Thus, I switch to our starter and let Paimon tank a Blizzard that reeks of desperation. Perhaps it's due to fear from what's to come because despite +1 evasion and Snow Cloak under Hail, Frostlass cannot dodge its destiny. This one's for the penultimate gym badge. Paimon Blast. Yeah. Time to infiltrate Team Galactic's headquarters, which has several interesting details of note. The lighting in the storage warehouse basement is very atmospheric, and I like how the dysfunction of the lower ranks can be visualized through the nasty state of the communal kitchen.
Well, I think it looks lovely.
Got a real eye for aesthetics there, don't you?
I'm sure the Team Galactic funds are being put to greater use elsewhere. Just look at how elaborate the auditorium is, or how quaint the nap room is.
By the way, there's a Pokédoll hidden inside this bed.
Why do you know this?
Cyrus awaits us on the top floor, but he is powerless to stop our onslaught. After wiping the floor with him, he rewards us with the strongest ball known to man. Fun fact, there's a Razor Claw hidden in the side room, which means I can see you giving me the stink eye from here. Saturn awaits us in the test chamber, but like the guy paying his checks, he's no match for us. We free the Lake Guardians, then use the dubious disc we picked up earlier to evolve Astaroth into Porygon Z, another favorite of mine. Porygon Z? I'm just gonna say Porygon Z for you Americans. Time to ascend Mount Coronet and put an end to Team Galactic's schemes. Once we arrive at Spear Pillar, we are set to face off in a dangerous double battle against 2 Galactic Grunts. Just kidding, these 2 are nobodies, but I do always forget they precede the real double battle. The fight against Mars and Jupiter is concerning for a variety of reasons. Firstly, we have to work together with our rival. Secondly, both Galactic Gals lead off with levitating Bronzors that we have no super effective answers for. That's why I decided to lead off with Paimon since spread surf damage is at least something. Meanwhile, our rival's Munchlax scratches its butt before perishing to excessive extrasensory stimulation. Our rival then sends out his Rapidash, which actually marks a turning point for this fight. Paimon's Surf has managed to whittle down the Bronzors enough that he can finish one of them off while Rapidash handles the other. This invites in Jupiter's Golbat and Mars's Perugly. The Fat Cat moves first, slashing at Rapidash before getting burned by a retaliatory Will-O-Wisp. Meanwhile, Golbat gets off a Giga Drain while Paimon responds by blowing away Golbat with a critical hit Paimon Flash Cannon. Skuntank hits the field and Perugly gets a shot in on Rapidash, who manages one more Will-O-Wisp on Skuntank before perishing to its Night Slash. Paimon crits again, taking Skuntank out of the fight. The rest of this battle is a funeral procession as Perugly gets put in the casket and Golbat gets put 10 feet under as we successfully handle Mars and Jupiter at once. In a fight with the 2 ladies out of the picture, we can now bear witness to a 27-year-old man summoning the gods of time and space, only to be kidnapped by the god of not time or space. That means we gotta follow him to the distortion world, which is still as cool as I remember it being back in 09. Say, the devil, does hell look anything like this place?
Not exactly. Its appearance and atmosphere depends on the eye of the beholder.
Then would you say that its natural state is neither quiet nor chaos?
Precisely. It is transient and ever-shifting, like water. I didn't know you had an interest in such affairs, Toad Boy. Perhaps I should give you some more credit intellectually.
Man, I could kill for some Taco Bell right now. Waiting for us at the end of this nightmarish realm is an angry 27-year-old man ready to throw hands. But we're prepared to fight back, as evidenced by Paimon knocking out Houndoom Houndoom in one hit. He did take a decent chunk of damage from Flamethrower though, so when Gyarados enters the fray, we switch to Byleth first on an Earthquake, then again to Nafula. He arrives on a Soft Ice Fang, meaning he can one-tap Gyarados the following turn with Thunderbolt. In comes a threatening little weasel creature who will have to be careful handling. Person switches in on a resisted Fake Out, then eats an Ice Punch like it's no big deal before grounding Weavile into a fine powder. Honchkrow takes the field and Balon switches in on Heat Wave. I'm fairly certain that Honchkrow will go for Heat Wave again instead of Night Slash due to Balon's lower special defense. That's why I decide to let Balon U-turn out for Nafula. My prediction turns out to be correct as Nafula tanks the Heat Wave before firing off a T-Bolt the next turn that cooks Honchkrow. And then there was one, Crobat. But with Nafula already on the field, he can easily finish this fight by sending one last Thunderbolt Cyrus's way. Aw, no way Crobat outspeeds, man. Damn it. At least Astaroth can finish the job, but despite the win, my heart still aches with the pain of loss. Rest easy, Nafula. May there be infinite Gyarados for you to electrocute in heaven.
Just saying now he's probably going back to hell.
Man, shut up! After banishing Giratina to the bench forever, we exit the Distortion World and check in on the Ice-type Battle Royale. And would you look at that, Ball the Sneasel was victorious. Her reward shall be evolving into Weavile and joining our team as the final member. I also make sure to swing by the Move Tutor on Route 212 to teach her Ice Punch, because Weavile doesn't actually get a single physical Ice-type move by level up. Not just in Platinum, this is still an issue to the present generation. Crazy. You, not gonna say anything, Devilman?
What?
Look at you collecting all those colored shards from Moo Tutoring like a nerd. Nothing like that? No snide remarks or anything?
Honestly, Toad Boy, I wholeheartedly expected you to have wiped by now. You've made it further than expected, so you've earned some reprieve from my usual antics.
Aw, you're showing me kindness for once?
Don't get used to it. Your final gym battle approaches.
Yeah, but it's an electric type gym, so I can sweep the whole thing with just Balon.
Don't let that head of yours get too big, Toad Boy. After all, the lead Jolteon will outspeed your precious... Is that a Quick Claw?
Yeah, so I wasn't sure what item to give Balon, but it seems Quick Claw was the play, because it allowed him to outspeed and KO Jolteon in one hit. He also naturally outspeeds Luxray, meaning the only real threat to Balon is down for the count.
Don't get too full of yourself. The battle isn't over yet. Look, Electivire might have something to say about... Again?
Yep, Quick Claw triggered again, meaning Balon is now 3 for 3 on Earthquake one-shots. That just leaves Volkner's Raichu, who's gotta outspeed us here.
Unless Quick Claw triggers again.
No way that happens.
Wanna bet?
Nah, I think we're on the same page here. The people want to see a third Quick Claw proc. Balon, do you have one in you? Welcome to Balon's Wonder World, baby! With all 8 gym badges in hand, our sights are now set on the Pokemon League. But before we can take on the final challenge, we need to pass through Victory Road. And I hate Sinnoh's Victory Road. Listen, I love Sinnoh, I love the mythology, the traditional flair, even the fluorescent green grass. But Sinnoh's Victory Road can kick rocks. It suffers from the same homogeneous visual design as the Victory Roads before it, but Sinnoh's rendition also has the gall to require 5 HMs for traversal, including Rock Smash. Rock Smash in the late game. Screw this place. We should replace it with something of actual value, like a Pokemart. Or Bucky's. We finally arrive at the Pokemon League, and even though I accidentally triggered the last rival fight while making preparations, I still ended up mopping the floor with him. Disregarding the double team shenanigans back in Hearthome, this guy hasn't done anything of note against us. I'll readily admit that I straight up forgot his name while writing this script, and I'm not gonna bother to check because my efforts will be going towards something more important, preparing for the Elite Four. I'd love to pull another Deus Ex Machina off the bench, but there are no surprises here. The team of 6 we're bringing into the final gauntlet is the same one we've been rocking for a while now. Beginning with Paimon the Empoleon, our ever-reliable starter is ready to fire off his patented Paimon Blast whenever necessary, though he'll probably just be clicking Surf instead. Byleth the Staraptor is another OG looking to enter the Hall of Fame. Intimidate is the name of the game, and Byleth is its most dedicated player. Balon the Gliscor has reinvented himself with a new, more varied moveset, but don't worry, he's still a filthy Quick Claw gambler at heart, who's ready to test his luck at the the highest stakes possible. Clutch Master Astaroth the Porygon Z is here too, packing more coverage than any insurance policy. Don't be fooled by its base stats, Astaroth is tankier than expected due to all the random defense and special defense EVs we unintentionally gained throughout the run. I do not have any witty remarks or references to past events for Person to Lucario, because he hasn't done much in the grand scheme of things. Maybe that'll change in the Elite Four. Finally, Ball the Weavile also hopes to make her mark during the final stretch. She's our most reliable answer against Cynthia's Garchomp, so hopefully she doesn't get obliterated before then.
Not bad, Toad Boy. This team of 6 looks decently capable. Don't forget the consequences of failure, however.
I haven't forgotten, but that doesn't mean I'll back down. Now let's begin with the first Elite Four member, the Bug-type trainer, Aaron. Person hits the field first and outspeeds Yanmega, one-shotting it with Stone Edge before it can even blink. This invites in Heracross and in turn, Byleth. She takes an alarming chunk of damage from Heracross's -1 close combat, but retains enough HP to fire off a Brave Bird and survive the recoil after downing the bug. In comes Drapion, which means it's time for Balan to come in and... Ooh, that was a close one. Our lucky break is emphasized the following turn because Drapion actually outspeeds Balan and connects with Ice Fang this time to bring our Flying Scorpion to half. Had the first Ice Fang connected, we might have lost Balan to an unfortunate misplay. Instead, Drapion goes down to a single Earthquake. Spurred on by the kiss of Lady Luck, Balan is itching for a quick claw proc. And he gets it, allowing him to rip through Scizor with Fire Fang. And try as it might, Vespiquen can't hold back Balan forever as our resident gambler gets us the win. The first Elite Four member has fallen, and Bertha, the ground-type specialist, is lined up next. She begins the battle by sending out Whiscash while we lead off with Astaroth? Yeah, we don't have a single grass-type move on our roster, so we're just gonna have to brute force our way through Whiscash using someone we won't need to save for the rest of Bertha's team. As always, Astaroth proves our faith in it by firing off a huge tri-attack that not only drops Whiscash into the red, but also freezes it, only for the fish to break out immediately and set up Sandstorm. Well, you can't win them all. Bertha pops a full restore, but another Astaroth tri-attack brings Whiscash back to the red and paralyzes it. Astaroth's third tri-attack finally buries the Mudfish, which means the table is set for Bertha's Gliscor to immediately get sent packing with a single Ice Beam. Fantastic effort, Astaroth. Your work here is done. Balan switches in for free on a Hippowdon Earthquake, then connects with Ice Fang to take out a third of the Hippo's health. Hippowdon tries a Stone Edge, but misses. Oof. Since we know another Stone Edge is coming, we can switch into Paimon to resist it. Or Hippowdon could just miss a second consecutive Stone Edge and put the nail in its own coffin. And the rest of Bertha's team as well, because Paimon drowns each of them one by one to claim victory. Next up is Flint and his fiery fire types, but uh-oh, do you hear that? It's the theme song for Balan's Wonderworld. Balan single-handedly sweeps through Flint's entire team, with the only hit taken being a soft Flare Blitz from Infernape. Balan even gets a Quick Claw trigger to outspeed Rapidash for the KO. Another immaculate show from our Mon of the Hour. I'm still not playing the actual Balan Wonderworld though. One Elite Four member remains, and unlike the previous pushovers, Lucian, the Psychic type user, poses a real threat to our team. This is apparent immediately as Astaroth fails the one-hit KO with Signal Beam, allowing Mr. Mime to set up Light Screen and half all incoming special attacks for a few turns. Lucian pops a full restore, and thanks to Light Screen, Astaroth is stuck firing Signal Beams, hoping to take minimal damage in response as we burn Light Screen turns. And actually, that plan ends up being the right play. Mr. Mime does mediocre damage even with Stab Psychic, meaning Astaroth can eventually take down the Mime after a lot of patience and effort. Gallade roars into battle, but Byleth screams even louder because of Intimidate. That's why Byleth can shrug off Drain Punch and Brave Bird right past Gallade with HP to spare. That won't matter, however, because a nuclear level threat has hit the field. Lucian's Alakazam lets loose a Psychic, but Ball switches in and ignores the attack. However, Alakazam has a 4 times effective Focus Blast on deck that can turn Ball into a memory. And while Weavile is normally faster than Alakazam, remember that we haven't been explicitly EV training. So there's a strong chance that Ball will still be outsped.
You've already lost 2 team members in the past to speed checks. Who's to say it won't happen a third time?
If that does happen here, we could very well be looking at a wipe. The rest of our team is ill-equipped to handle an Alakazam with fighting type coverage.
Anyone who switches in would surely be eviscerated as well. And if Weavile were to fall against Lucian, losing your best Garchomp check would certainly doom you against Cynthia.
Damn it! All my efforts to play better and smarter only for it to all come down to a speed check.
I wouldn't have it any other way, Toad Boy. Now roll that footage. I want to see the life leave your Weavile's eyes as it succumbs to its destined fate. No way!
Alakazam wins the speed check but misses Focus Blast, allowing Ball to cleave her foe in half with a single Night Slash. No time to celebrate though, because Bronzong hits the field and can one-shot our Ball with its Gyro Ball. But instead of going for Gyro Ball, Bronzong actually punishes our switch-in by setting up with Calm Mind. Blonde's subsequent Fire Fang isn't enough to bring Bronzong to half, and the Bell goes for yet another Calm Mind. We are now staring down the barrel, the bell, of a +2 special attack, +2 special defense Bronzong, who would surely obliterate Balon with a single Psychic right now. But that's the thing, it's probably gonna use Psychic because it's the strongest move it could throw out at Balon. Therefore, we have a free switch-in for Ball. Or I could be wrong and end up tossing Ball into a bell-shaped meat grinder for nothing. But I'm willing to put my cards on the table and go all in on this risk. Balon U-turns out, getting some substantial chip damage as Ball tags in on a Bronzong Psychic, which is nullified by Ball's Dark typing. And since Bronzong is now low enough, Ball can fell the Bronze Bell with a single Night Slash and also beat up Espeon, meaning the Elite Four has been conquered. That just leaves one final obstacle before we can become Pokemon League champions, but that obstacle is the tallest, most intimidating, and blondest woman yet, Cynthia.
If there was any chance for you to wipe, now would be the time.
Do you really think my battle-tested team will fold that easily?
You never know, Toad Boy. But with how you defied my expectations all run, I suppose I'll entertain your folly one last time. Let's see if your band of demons can truly defy destiny.
Paimon leads off the final battle by catching a wave that knocks Spiritomb down to half. Our starter then tanks a resisted Shadow Ball easily and finishes off Spiritomb on the following turn. That invites in Garchomp already? Okay. Byleth gets a free switch in on Garchomp's Earthquake and crucially drops the Landshark's attack with Intimidate. This gives us the flexibility to switch to Ball, who can survive Dragon Rush, then follow up with an Ice Punch that is a solid one-hit KO. With Garchomp iced out, Cynthia brings in Lucario. I send in Balon, expecting a big fighting type hit, but Lucario goes for extreme speed? Okay man, now get out of my sight. Lucario falls and Milotic rises to take its place. We switch to Paimon on a soft Ice Beam, after which it's time to play the long con. Milotic has Mirror Coat to reflect any special moves, which means Paimon's current task is to weather hits and whittle the Sea Snake down with the physical Drill Peck until it enters KO range for Astaroth, who takes a sizable chunk from Surf on the switch-in but can finish off Milotic with a single discharge. Togekiss comes in next and pulls the trigger on an Aura Sphere that grazes Balon's face on the switch-in. Like Paimon before him, Balon's task is to deal some chip damage. He connects with Ice Fang, taking a third of Togekiss's HP with him, but Air Slash nearly grounds Balon, leaving him with just 8 HP remaining. That's his cue to bow out for the next man up, Person, who also takes a meaty chunk of damage from Air Slash. I'm fairly confident we outspeed here and score the KO, although I'm probably gonna make Person use Close Combat instead of Stone Edge, since a miss would be dreadful.
Oh, leaving it up to chance again?
Not exactly. Lucario is naturally faster than Togekiss, and unlike poor Bellio, Person's actually got some speed EVs to work with, I think. We knocked out a couple of Float Souls on the way to Sunny Shore, and that might make the difference here. What's our current record on speed checks? 1 to 2? No better time to go 500 than the present. Person gets the jump on Togekiss, sending it into the stratosphere with a critical hit Close Combat. And then there was one. Cynthia's Roserade is all that stands between us and ultimate glory. Since every other member of the team got to KO one of Cynthia's Pokemon, it's only fitting that Byleth makes it 6 for 6. Roserade lets loose a surprisingly strong energy ball, but it's too little too late. With one final decisive Brave Bird, Byleth sends away Roserade and sends us into the Hall of Fame. We've officially beaten a Pokemon Platinum Hardcore Nuzlocke. I did it! Despite your best efforts to sabotage me, I overcame your challenge, the devil. What do you have to say about that?
Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I knew you had it in you, Toad Boy.
You did?
Come on, did you really think I was going to send you to hell just for playing Pokemon differently?
Yes, actually.
You've provided me with enough entertainment that keeping your mushroom-shaped head around will be more beneficial than banishing you to the depths.
So, I'm free to do whatever I want now?
That's been the case since the beginning, Toad Boy. I'll be off now. As for my minions, they've earned the right to be permanently reassigned to a new boss. Make sure to take good care of those idiots. You do know that we will meet again, right?
When I die?
Oh hell no, I don't deal with that sort of macabre. I mean, when you finally decide to tackle a truly difficult Pokemon game. I'll be there, delighting in your downfall.
And I'll be ready to prove you wrong again.
Ha ha ha! Good answer, Toad Boy. Catch you later.
I guess there ain't anything left for us to do but go home. Oh, by the way, if you surf down here in Twin Leaf Town, there's an odd keystone hidden in these trees.
Seriously, why do you know this shit?